everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Ashlyn, the Eclectic Book Witch. Today I am here to share with you a book haul I have. I got some of these books on separate occasions and I'm really excited to share them with you. The first one I got, I decided to get to kind of treat myself. And also because one of my goals this year is to continue series that I've started. So I picked up A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. I really loved A Court of Thorn and Roses, far more than I thought I would initially. I kept putting off reading that series because I've been burned before with books in general that have been hyped up and gained in popularity only to find out it wasn't that great, which is, there's some other books I'm still putting off because of that same reason. Like, I still haven't read Fourth Wing. That's another one where I'm kind of nervous to even get the book. I don't have those books yet, but I could not help but fall in love with the first book, and I'm really excited to dive into this one. It is a chunky book, but I am really excited to get to this. I figure I will keep treating myself to each book in the series after I have finished one to kind of motivate myself to stay on top of my goal of reading series and finishing them. This one I picked up when I was at Walmart and just decided on a whim to buy it. So I'm really looking forward to that one. These next two I bought when I was at Target, and they actually had really good prices on these, which is why I got them. The first one is What the River Knows by Isabel I swear I'm terrible with names. Ibanez. So I have heard many great things about this book. It's described as The Mummy meets Death on the Nile, which I'm all for because I'm a huge Agatha Christie fan. I haven't read a ton of Agatha Christie books, but I have read And Then There Were None, and actually that might be the only one I have read. But growing up, my mother and I watched a lot of Agatha Christie. We watched a lot of Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I loved studying Egypt when I was a kid, and The Mummy is one of my all-time favorite movies. Brendan Fraser is amazing. I don't know too much. I've skimmed the synopsis. It's described as historical fantasy filled with adventure, a rivals to lover romance, and shocking twists and turns. So this I'm really excited to get to. This other one I also got at Target is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I don't know anything about this story, but my curiosity was piqued when I read the back of this. It says, "Dear reader, I started writing this in secret as a novel just for my wife. She urged me to share it with the world, and alongside 3 other secret novels, with the support of readers worldwide, it grew into the biggest Kickstarter campaign of all time. I'm excited to present this first book to you at last, a different type of Brandon Sanderson story, one I wrote when there was no time constraints, no expectations, and no limits on my imagination. Come be part of the magic. Brandon Sanderson." Plus, I mean, look at the inside of this. How pretty is that? And it's also on the back part too. I absolutely fell in love with this when I saw it. And I've heard really good things about this one too, so I need to read this as soon as possible. These next set of books I ordered with Book Outlet. It was my first ever Book Outlet order. It did take a little while to get here, but they did say it would take 3 to 10 business days, and I did not know that it would come down from Canada. But they had really good prices for all of these, so I was excited to order these. This first one, I've seen all over Bookstagram, and I've seen rave reviews for it, and it's Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi. And it's a gothic, gory, Lord of the Flies horror. Readers will be hooked. I haven't read too much horror. I've read some. I just started getting into it at the end of last year, so I'm really excited to have this to kind of kick off my physical collection, because everything else horror related I have on my Kindle. So I'm really happy to have this as my first physical horror book for my collection. So the next two books I ordered because I fell in love with reading The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon, and that was my first book by her, and I needed more. And one of my friends, Madam Vader Reads, hi, she also ordered these books, so she ordered them before I did, so that kind of inspired me to be like, okay, hey, I should do the same thing, because I inspired her to read The Winter People, and she loved it. So the first one is by Jennifer McMahon, is The Drowning Kind. And also the other one is My Darling Girl. So both The Drowning Kind and My Darling Girl it kind of made me happy to see that they're both tied to Vermont, like The Winter People was as well. I love visiting Vermont. My brother used to live out there. And this one, The Drowning Kind, has a dual timeline similar to The Winter People, it looks like. And this one is described as a modern-day ghost story that illuminates how the past, though sometimes forgotten, is never really far behind us. So, and I love books that have flowers on the cover too. Oh, and look at that, it kind of shimmers. And then for My Darling Girl, this one looks like it might be, I'm not sure, but based on this one, it looks like this one might be character driven. So My Darling Girl is described as a character-driven kind of family dynamic thriller. So I'm really excited for that, because The Winter People had all of the thrills, and it just, everything in that book tied together so neatly. So I'm really excited to see how these other two books by her go. These last two are actually the first ever special editions I've ever really splurged on for myself. They weren't that expensive, but this one, Jane Eyre, I have read, but I could not pass up getting this beautiful copy. I mean, it's just gorgeous, and I will definitely, I think, be giving this a reread this year, because I love Jane Eyre so much. This next one I have actually never read, and I have been dying to read this, so I need to. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. These covers are awesome, and I can't wait to get to these. Book Outlet has a lot more classic books that have this imitation leather that is just, it's really cool. And it's like, they almost feel like reminiscent of a hardback, but at the same time they have that floppy paperback feel, you know? So I thought that these were really cool, and they were way better. They came out way better than what I expected they would be. So yeah, I'm really excited to have all of these books in my collection now, and I can't wait to read them. And if you've read any of these, please feel free to comment down below what you thought of them, or if any of these are also on your TBR. Or if any of these authors have other books that are favorites of yours, I would love to know what they are. So don't forget to like and subscribe And check out my Instagram page, also The Eclectic Book Witch, because over there I still have my Instagram giveaway because I hit 3K followers this month. So that will be open until April 1st, and the winner will be announced on April 2nd. So that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great day. Happy reading. Stay spooky.